Listen, my people, gather around, gather around. Yes, make yourself comfortable. I have proper gist for you today. A story about a girl, a mysterious box, and the kind of lesson that will make you laugh and then make you think. Come close, this one will touch your spirit.
So, there was this town called Umunna, and in that town there lived a young woman named Adanna. Now, this Adana, hey, when I say beautiful, I am not just throwing words around though. This girl was beautiful. The kind of beautiful that made sense to biology. The kind of beautiful where even the sun was probably jealous. Men would forget what they came to do. Women would lose count while counting their goods. Even chickens in the market would pause and look at her properly like, so this is what God can do when he is not tired. Adana had skin like polished mahogany, eyes so deep that you could drown inside them and actually be happy about it. Hair so long and so well braided, that other girls would cry when they saw her walking. She moved like she was auditioning for a movie that only rich people could watch. But here is the thing, my people. You see, Adana was not just born beautiful. No. Adana was born pampered, and that pamper had transformed into something dangerous. You see, Adana had 3 brothers, 3, all older than her, and she was the only girl. In African families, when you are the only girl with brothers, something special happens to your head. Something that can either make you humble or make you insufferable. In Adana's case, it made her insufferable. Her father, Kai, that man treated Adana like she was made of gold mixed with diamonds. While her brothers were out working, studying, struggling like normal human beings, Adana was being treated like royalty. Her father would come home and the first thing he asked was, "Where is my princess?" Not, "How are the boys?" but "Where is my princess?" If Adana said her feet were tired, her father would find her a car to use. If she mentioned her hair was boring, her father would give her money for the best braider in town. If she sighed about wanting something, that thing would appear in her room the next day like magic. Her brothers would joke bitterly. One of them once said, "Papa, I am suffering here trying to build my life, and Adana is at home receiving gifts like she's the president's daughter." But did that stop their father? No. The man would smile and say, "Your sister is special. She deserves the best." The worst part? Her brothers loved her so much that they became part of the problem. They protected her, they spoiled her, they fought anybody who said anything bad about her. One time, a girl at school made a joke about Adana's hair, and her youngest brother nearly beat the girl's whole family. Nearly. So growing up, Adana learnt one thing very early. The world revolved around her. Everything was about making Adana comfortable. Everything was about giving Adana what she wanted. Her comfort was everybody's priority. Now, by the time Adana became a woman, this girl was not just beautiful, she was entitled beautiful. She was the kind of beautiful that came with attitude, with pride, with the sense that she was better than everyone else. Because for her whole life, everyone had treated her like she was better than everyone else. And when you grow up like that, when everybody around you treats you like you are the center of the universe, something happens inside you. You start to believe it. You start to think that your comfort matters more than other people's feelings. You start to think that because you are beautiful and spoiled, you deserve to treat people however you want. So when Adana became a woman in the town of Umunna, this girl was not just difficult, she was cruel. Every single week, I'm telling you, different men would come to ask for her hand. Rich men, poor men, tall men, short men, educated men, traders, farmers, even visiting chiefs from other towns. They came with gifts, so
Beautiful cloth, goats, palm wine, bags of kola nuts, jewelry, perfume, money in big envelopes. They came dressed like they were meeting the president. Hair shining, shoes polished, confidence high. And sometimes they came with their whole families, uncles, aunties, cousins, everybody. Everybody coming to witness their son or brother get married to the beautiful Adana. And what did this girl do? She laughed at them. Not a small laugh, a loud laugh. The kind of laugh that could be heard 3 compounds away. A laugh that sounded like she was mocking them, which she was. She would look at the man from his head to his shoes, and then, hey, she would say things that would make his entire family want to disappear into the ground and never come back. This one, she would say, her nose up in the air, this one wants to marry me. Look at him. Brother, where did you come from? Take your gifts and go back to wherever that is. My beauty deserves a king, not a whatever you are. Or she would say, your shoes look tired, your shirt looks tired, you look tired. Please go back home and rest properly before coming to see a woman like me. One time, a man brought her gold jewelry, real gold. He came with his whole family. His uncles were there, his mother was smiling, everybody was happy. The man gave her the jewelry and said, Adanna, I know I am not rich, but I am honest. I work hard. I will love you truly. Hey, it was a touching speech, I am telling you. Even one woman at the back was crying. But Adana looked at the gold, looked at the man, and said loud enough for the whole street to hear, the gold is nice, thank you. But you, brother, you are not nice. You are not handsome. You are not anything. I will take your gold, but I will give it to my housemaid, because at least when she wears it, people will be looking at the gold and not asking questions about who is wearing it. Kai! The silence that followed was louder than a scream. The man's mother's smile disappeared. His uncles looked at the ground. The man himself just stood there like his spirit had left his body. Then he slowly collected the gold from her hand and walked out. And Adana, she laughed. She actually laughed. This happened over and over again. So many men rejected, so many hearts broken, so many families embarrassed in front of the whole town. But you know what was the worst part? The worst part was that Adana's family was still defending her. Her father would say, my daughter is only being selective. She is a prize. She deserves only the best. Her brothers would say, leave our sister alone. She will choose who she wants. And Adana, she believed them all. She believed that because they loved her, it meant the whole world should love her too. It meant she could do whatever she wanted. It meant her beauty and her comfort were more important than anybody else's feelings. Even her mother tried to warn her. One day, the woman sat her down and said quietly, Adana, my daughter, beauty is not forever. One day, these good looks will fade. One day, your face will have lines. Your skin will not be as smooth. Then what will you have? You have made enemies of so many men. You have broken so many hearts. You have made the women in this town jealous and angry. Please, my daughter, humble yourself before something breaks you. But Adana just rolled her eyes. Mother, as long as I am this beautiful, nothing will happen to me. Beauty is power. Beauty is my protection. She actually believed that, my people. She believed that her face was like armor that nothing could penetrate.
The town elders also came to her father's house. These are old men who have seen life, real life, and they understand how the world works. They said to her father, your daughter has become a problem. She is disrespecting every man who comes to ask for her. She is filling this community with bad feelings. Tell her to choose a husband, or tell her to be humble, because pride like this, it always ends badly. Always. We have seen it before. But her father just waved his hand and said,
My daughter will choose when she is ready, and she will choose the right man. Nobody could reach her, nobody could teach her. Adana was too beautiful, too spoiled, too sure that life would always give her whatever she wanted. And then, one morning, everything changed. It was about 7 o'clock. The whole family was eating breakfast. Adana was probably still sleeping because beauty like that requires rest, when there was a knock on the door. Not a small knock, a loud knock, the kind that makes your heart jump, the kind that sounds serious. Adana's father went to the door, and when he opened it, he saw 2 men standing there, 2 delivery men, and between them was a box. My people, this box was massive. It was so big that even though both men were strong, really strong, they were both struggling with the weight. The box was wrapped in paper that looked expensive, the kind of paper that comes from big cities. It had ribbons in gold and silver. Flowers were pasted all over it. Bows were tied in every corner. It looked like a royal gift. It looked like something that would change a person's life forever. The delivery men struggled to carry it through the doorway. It took both of them and Adana's father working together to get this thing inside the house. "This is for Adana," one man said. He held out a small envelope attached to the box. The envelope was sealed with wax. Waxed, not just a regular envelope. This person was serious. "Who sent it?" Adana's father asked, his eyes big with shock. "The note will explain everything." And then both of them left. Now, you know how fast news travels in a small town, right? By the time those delivery men had walked 10 steps away from the house, the whole street knew. By the time they reached the corner, half the town knew. By lunchtime, everybody knew. Children started gathering outside the house like it was a festival. Women abandoned their cooking pots, left food on fire, and came running to see this mysterious box. Men left their work. Everybody wanted to know who sent it. What is inside? Is it jewelry? Is it money? Is it a wedding proposal? Within 30 minutes, there was a crowd outside. People were standing by the fence, trying to peek through windows. Women were gossiping loud. Men were speculating. Children were jumping with excitement. It was like Christmas morning had come early. Then Adana heard the noise. She heard the whispers. She heard the excitement. She came out of her room slowly. Not too quickly, because a queen must maintain her dignity, and she went to the sitting room. When she saw that box, decorated like it was a treasure, beautiful like a work of art, her eyes went wide. Her mother was staring. Her father was staring. Every neighbor peering through windows and standing at the door was staring. And Adana stared at that box like it was the most beautiful thing she had ever seen. For the first time in a long time, Adana was not confident. Adana was curious. Adana was excited. That box was so beautiful, so mysterious, so expensive looking. Who could have sent something like this? What was inside? Who was finally worthy enough to match her? Then she remembered. She was beautiful. She was the most beautiful woman in 3 towns. Of course, someone had finally sent her something like this. Of course, someone rich and important had finally noticed her. Of course, the man who matched her had finally appeared. Her confidence came rushing back like a flood. She walked over to that box with her head held high, like she was walking down a red carpet at a movie premiere. She took the envelope and opened it slowly, very slowly, making sure that everybody was watching, because they were. Every single person in that room, every single neighbor at the window, every single child outside, they were all watching. The note inside read, "To the most beautiful woman in Umana, from your secret admirer." That was all it said. The moment Adana read those words, her heart started racing like it was running a marathon. A secret admirer, someone so shy that they could not even sign their name, someone so completely overwhelmed by her beauty that they had to remain anonymous. This person had money, real money, and they had spent it to send her a massive, expensive-looking, beautifully decorated box. Her mind started dancing with possibilities, my people. Dancing. Jewelry, the most expensive jewelry in the world, gold from distant lands, diamonds so big that they would start a WhatsApp meeting just by existing. Money, maybe this person was very rich, richer than any man who had come before. Maybe this person owned multiple businesses. Maybe this person had the kind of money that changes entire families. Fine clothes, fabrics from London, Paris, Milan, dresses that would make her even more beautiful than she already was, shoes that cost more than houses, a love letter, a beautiful declaration from someone who was brave enough to love her from a far away, rich enough to prove it with gifts, but shy enough to stay anonymous. Her mind was racing, my people. Her heart was pounding so hard she could feel it in her ears. She could feel the eyes of the entire neighborhood on her. This was her moment. This was proof that she was worthy of the finest things in the world. This was proof that her beauty had finally attracted someone truly special, someone who could match her, someone who could give her the soft life she deserved. "Help me open it," she said to her father. Her voice was shaking with excitement.
Her father came over with a knife. He started cutting the ribbons, the bows, the expensive paper. As the wrapping fell away piece by piece, the anticipation in that room grew bigger and bigger. Everyone was silent. Even the children outside had stopped moving. Her father lifted the lid of the box slowly, and the room fell silent. Inside the box, from top to bottom, from corner to corner, packed down solid, was sand. Not gold, not jewelry, not money, not fine cloth. Sand. Just sand. The kind of sand you find at the bottom of a well. The kind of children play with on dirty ground. The kind of sand that is worth nothing. Absolutely nothing. For one long moment, a very long moment, the entire world seemed to stop. Adana stared at the box. Her mother stared at the box. Her father stared at the box. The neighbors pressed harder against the windows, trying to see what was inside. And then, someone laughed. Just one person, a small laugh. Then another person laughed. Then another. Then the whole crowd erupted.
Loud, uncontrollable laughter. People were slapping their knees. People were holding their stomachs. People were laughing so hard they were crying. Some people had to sit down because they were laughing too much. Laughter inside the house, laughter outside the house, laughter echoing through the streets like music. Even the children were laughing. Even the women were laughing and pointing. Even the men were laughing and shaking their heads. And Adana's face went through every color. Red, white, purple, yellow, green. She looks like a broken rainbow. She looks like a traffic light that had lost its mind. She looks like she wanted to disappear into the earth and become sand herself. One woman outside actually screamed, "Adana has been disgraced. The entire town will never forget this. Never." Adana did not stay in that sitting room one more second. She ran. She ran like something was chasing her. She ran to her room, locked the door, and for 3 days, she did not come out. 3 days. She did not eat. She did not bathe. She did not sleep. She just sat in her darkness and she wept. The whole compound could hear her crying. The neighbors could hear her, but Adana could not stop. Her mother brought food to her door. "Adana, eat something." No answer. Her father tried to talk to her. "Adana, we will find out who did this." No answer. Her brothers came to comfort her. "Sister, we will deal with this person."
But Adana just cried louder. For 3 solid days, the girl wept like she was mourning her own death. But after 3 days, something changed inside her. Something harder than sadness took over. Something worse than shame. Obsession. Adana became obsessed. The girl became mad with finding out who had done this to her. She could not rest, she could not eat properly, she could not sleep, she could not think of anything else except finding out who. Just who. She became like a detective, my people, a woman possessed. She questioned the delivery men, but they would not tell her anything. They said the package was paid for in cash by someone they had never seen before. She questioned her neighbors, she questioned her mother, she questioned everybody who had ever come to ask for her hand. She went back to all the men she had rejected, all the hearts she had broken, and she started investigating them one by one, like they were criminals. And slowly, the truth started to emerge.
There were so many people who wanted revenge on Adana. So many people who had a reason to humiliate her like she had humiliated them. So many people with motive. Emeka, the trader who had brought her the beautiful cloth, people said they saw him at the market before he left town carrying a mysterious package. Was it him? Chioma, the girl who had once been her friend until Adana had turned the whole school against her. Chioma had come back to town with money and new connections. Was it her? Okechukwu, whose younger brother had been so ashamed by Adana that he nearly took his own life. Was Okechukwu seeking justice for his brother? But then Adana discovered something that made her blood go cold. There was a boy, years ago, when Adana was just 13 years old, before she became so beautiful and so proud and so terrible. There was a boy named Inamdi. Now, Inamdi was not just any boy. Inamdi was the son of the richest family in the whole town. He was handsome, he was kind, and he was completely, madly in love with Adana. In those days, before her beauty had made her into a monster, Adana had loved him too. They would meet at the well and talk for hours. They would laugh together. It was innocent love, the kind of love between young people who think the world is only good. But then, everything changed. Inamdi's father had a business failure, a big one, the kind of failure that loses money, the kind of failure that makes you go from rich to poor in almost 1 year. The family lost everything. Everything. When Inamdi came to tell Adana about this, because he wanted her to know, he wanted to see if she would still love him, what did Adana do? She laughed at him. I cannot be with a man who is poor. How could I? I deserve someone successful. I deserve someone with money. Take your sadness and go. And Inamdi had left that day. He had never come back. His family had not left the town though. They were still there, still struggling, still poor. The mother taking in washing for money, the father doing odd jobs, the whole family trying to survive day by day. But Inamdi himself, he had left. He went to the city to make something of himself. He went to escape the pain of rejection. Now, years later, when Adana started asking questions about the box, when she started investigating, she discovered something that made her heart nearly stop. Inamdi was back in the town. He had left for the city and he had worked hard, very hard. He had started a small business. The business had grown. He had become successful, very successful. He now owned businesses, multiple businesses, the kind of success that makes a man respectable, the kind of money that can give a woman the soft life she dreams about on Instagram. But he had not come back to town to show off. He had come back because his mother was sick, very, very sick, maybe dying. And when he came back, he saw Adana, still beautiful, still proud, still cruel to any man who tried to approach her, still the same girl who would laugh at a man if he was poor.
And in that moment, Inamdi understood something. Adana had not changed. She was the same. She measured men's worth by their bank accounts. She was the girl who would only love a man if he could give her money and comfort. So he decided something, my people. He decided to teach her a lesson. He paid for the box himself. He had it wrapped beautifully. He had the note written by someone else so she would not recognize his handwriting, and he filled it with sand. Sand, he thought, is what Adanna's heart is made of. Empty on the inside, beautiful on the surface, but worthless underneath. When Adanna finally discovered the truth, when she understood that the man she had once loved, the man whose heart she had broken, had orchestrated her humiliation in front of the whole town, something inside her broke completely. She went to find Nnamdi. She found him at his shop, a small but successful business he had built from nothing. When Nnamdi saw Adanna walk in, his face did not change. He was not happy, he was not sad, he was just empty. "It was you," Adanna said. Her voice was broken. "Yes," Nnamdi said simply, "it was me." "Why?" Adanna asked. She was crying now. "Why would you do this to me?" And Nnamdi looked at her for a long time. Then he spoke. "Because you needed to feel what rejection feels like. You needed to feel what it's like to be judged and found wanting. You needed to understand that beauty is not currency, that your face does not give you the right to destroy people." Adanna began to cry. She cried harder than she had ever cried in her life. "I am sorry," she said. "I am so sorry. I was wrong. I was terrible." And Nnamdi looked at her, and he saw something he had not expected. He saw real remorse. He saw a girl who was finally understanding what she had done. "I don't want your apology," he said quietly. "I wanted you to learn, and it seems you have." Then he turned away from her. Adanna left his shop that day, and for the first time, she went home to her father's house. When her father saw her at the gate, he froze. His beautiful daughter looked different, broken, humble, real. "My queen," he said slowly, "what happened?" And Adanna just fell into his arms and wept. For the first time in months, she told him everything. How she had treated men, how she had been cruel, how the box was sent to teach her a lesson, how she deserved it. Her father held her and said nothing for a long time. Then he spoke. "Adanna," he said quietly, "I spoiled you. Your brothers and I, we treated you like you were made of gold. We made you believe that your beauty was your worth. We made you believe that the world owed you comfort. That was our mistake." Adanna cried harder because for the first time, someone was telling her the truth. Her brothers came home and saw her crying, and they too realized what they had done. They had protected her from consequences. They had defended her cruelty. They had made her believe she was above everyone else. That night, the whole family sat together and they talked, really talked, about pride, about beauty, about kindness, about what it means to be a good person. From that day on, Adanna changed. She found Emeka, who was still in town, and apologized to him genuinely. He saw the real remorse in her eyes and forgave her. But the other men? Many had left town years ago. Some she could never find. Some probably did not want to hear from her anyway. She stopped dressing to show off. She stopped walking with her nose in the air. She got a job and worked hard for her own money instead of waiting for her father to give her everything. When men came to ask for her hand now, she treated them with respect. Even when she said no, she did it with kindness. She did not mock them. She did not humiliate them. The women in the town began to notice. Adanna has changed, they would say. She is not the same girl anymore. Even her brothers noticed. They watched as their sister became someone they could actually respect, not just protect. Slowly, the story of what happened, the box of sand, the humiliation, her change, it spread through the town, and people began to see Adana differently.
Months later, Adanna saw Nnamdi at the market. He looked at her, and for the first time, there was no anger in his eyes, just recognition. He saw the girl he had loved, the girl who had finally woken up. They began talking again, not because of romance at first, but because they were becoming friends. Real friends. The kind of friendship that comes when two people see each other clearly. And slowly, over time, Nnamdi asked her to marry him. Not because she was the most beautiful woman in 3 towns, but because she was finally a good woman.
Thank you for watching till the end. See you in our next episode. Bye.